Welcome back, I am Frozen Melon. Today I'll be continuing with our Arena Minion Mage deck we've got here at the moment. We're doing quite well with this deck, we are 4-1, so let's jump into the next game and see how we get along.
Jaina versus Jaina.
So, the first game is up against a fellow mage. Let's see how we get along with this one here.
You asked for it.
So as we are going higher and higher ranks, I am going to keep the Elven Archer here. I'll toss the Elemental there that we've got for the 5-drop. Draw any drops, that's not quite the card I was looking for. But I will not play the Elven Archer on turn 1. I'd rather use it on turn 3 if necessary to kind of get like a 3 mana, 2 damage, summon a 1/1. It's going to be more beneficial to me in the long run. But now I hope we're all doing alright at the moment. As for myself, I said today was probably not the best day. Just sort of had family commitments and things like that on, so I'm actually quite looking forward to playing a few games today, and hopefully we can bash out a few recordings. Opponent tossed his entire hand, so that is probably a good sign into keeping the Elven Archer. So I kind of just got back, setting up, and had my tea, which just had some quite nice fried rice, which was absolutely delicious for my own standards anyway. I quite enjoyed it. See my card here. And so what I also did as well is I did kind of boil the rice beforehand in advance with a sort of lemon herbal tea bag in it, which means that the rice did have quite a nice kind of lemony flavour attached to it, which I did enjoy. And at the same time as well, I'll play this one here because I don't mind if this gets killed. And of course I'm using the rest of the water I had then to reduce down to kind of make a small stock that I can use for other things as well. Which, you know, reuse and recycle, get as much out of as you can, which would be quite nice. And that is just kind of simmering away in the background while we've got this on. Don't know what I might do with it. I might use it to make some form of noodles or something like that, but we'll see.
Burn to cinders. Foolish.
Okay, so here I will use the Elven Archer first, ping face, just because I had this sort of feeling, and then we'll play that 3-mana card. Yeah, so I played the Elven Archer there, thinking the fact that that was the reason why he played that secret. It was either going to be like, destroy this minion or whatever, and make the trade there. It makes no difference to me. So not much I can do on the back of this anyway. So, and that is what I thought he had. Play that, and then push for the space. So I only got I said a nice slur there. My opponent's got the value from the secrets he wanted. Admittedly, the Mirror Entity didn't really do very much, but the other one did because I had no choice but to trade into that minion. So my turn 6 looks like I've got nothing to play, which is a bit disappointing. He then trades this. I push 5 to face, put him on 12, maybe like 13, so I'll probably end up pinging face. There is a debate whether I might trade into this minion, but it'll depend on what he plays. But I do doubt that that's what we're doing. I think this is more now a race to try and get them to 0 as quick as possible.
I wonder.
But yeah. But back to my sort of tea scenario, as it were. I said you're all probably very interested to hear about what I'm planning to do to that, with sort of either making up some noodle broth, which would be quite nice, or I might end up using it as sort of stock to kind of boil some chicken. And yes, you can boil chicken if you want to cook it that way as well. You can cook anything parboiled if you want to, but you can make some quite nice stuff with it. So at the moment there is some lemongrass, the lemon herbal tea which I had to make it up, as well as then a bit of spring onion in it as well, some salt and pepper, which will kind of boil down to quite a nice stock, I think, as well. sort of setting up these sort of meal plans throughout the week just kind of helps kind of balance what I end up eating as well. So I work quite long shifts some days, so having something in the background where you can kind of just bung it in, boil it up, or use a bit of the stock and put it in the microwave is quite nice and simple to use. And broth, stews, things like that was quite nice to have. So my opponent seems to have either a very good deck or drew every single card that seems to synergize with. I was in a good mood. That's fine. Play the 7 mana card. End turn. Like, these are the sort of points where you realise that your opponent normally will have a gimmick to their deck. So it's normally something that means their deck is going to be quite good in some aspect of it. As playing the 7 mana card there was actually the best play anyway, regardless of what I had in hand. Please don't get Mirror Entity. Looks like he hasn't, so that's good news. If it's a Mirror Entity pick, you just pick it straight away here, I think. The other choice is if you're afraid of other aspects, but I think Mirror Entity is the one you're worried about. I'm always very dubious of names that you've got up here, just because I have played against a fair amount of bots in the past. And I'm going to play the 8 mana card.
I am grateful for your aid.
How was that not an instant pick? Oh. I'm sorry. Just... I don't know. I said... This is a point where I don't really like Hearthstone. Like yeah, okay, people would have said, okay, you had a choice, you could have played this 8 mana card, or I could play the 2 mana card and then play the 8 mana card. But that line of play doesn't involve me end up winning the game later down the line. It doesn't end the game any quicker than what I want it to end.
Want it? I got it.
So I can take this card, which will kill off this, and that with a ping. Which is actually probably a good choice, so that's what we'll do. So like you could argue both plays, but the immediate play was to get the 8 out on the board because it is the biggest amount of mana cost, and I'm not going to have time to sit there and go through everything.
This'll make the pain go
So you don't really want to kind of end up pushing too much out. But it's just one of those things where it's like, if I was my opponent, my first reaction would be to end up just picking Mirror Entity straight away. Majority of the time my opponent's going to play some sort of big minion or play something else alongside it. So I'm normally going to want to... This seems a bit unusual. This does kill 2 off. I'll do that there. You're also playing the 84, that's fine. The fact that he didn't spend 4 mana is a bit unusual. There we go, that's why I didn't spend the 4 mana. Was that created? Like, I mean, it can be sort of annoying, but so, ladies and gentlemen, I said if you ever remember some of the older videos, I said if you haven't seen those, I do suggest going back to see them, because I said it does help the channel out, and I do appreciate the help there. But this is the reason why I get fed up with Hearthstone sometimes.
An oversight.
And
Strike! And strike harder!
if this was an enemy minion, I probably would have played it this turn. Because it isn't, I'm going to keep it in hand.
I have things you never knew you wanted.
My colors burst.
I can take them. Wait, not all of them.
Unbelievable.
I know this game is kind of going the way that I would expect it to in the end. Like, my opponent's drawn many cards, they're going to have sort of semi-answers for it, but I said if I'm allowed to be salty for a little bit, it's...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hearthstone.
I am grateful for your aid.
I said, hopefully my opponent just finishes me. No, they don't.
A second chance.
Well, I do hope you'll kind of enjoy this game, even if it is just watching my descent into madness. I said, next game, hopefully you'll watch me even fall deeper into depth madness with this Minion Mage deck. But I said, if you do enjoy these videos, do appreciate a like and subscribe, and I will then see you in the next one.